Crimes and offenses related to children are always among the most condemnable crimes, and the hardest to forgive. The case we are looking into today has attracted a large amount of media attention in the UK in 2018. The despicable criminal in Scotland that we are addressing is one of the criminals most widely known in recent times in this country. The culprit is a famous figure online with thousands of followers, millions of fans, but not only lacks proper behavior, he even engages in illegal activities, leading to bitter consequences. Today, let's explore together an overview of this case to find out the truth, whether YouTube stars are truly glamorous and perfect as they appear or not. You are following the case. Killing children to become YouTube stars. In 2018, when the case occurred, little girl Elisha McPhail had just turned 6. Talking about this pitiful girl, Elisha was born in the Royal Gerston Hospital, Airdrie, North Lanarkshire. At that time, she was only 23 years old and her sister Kelly was 2 years younger. The girl attended Chapelside School and had just finished kindergarten at the time of her death, according to neighbors, teachers, and friends around. Little Elisha was a cute, smiling, and cheerful girl. The child loves going to school and is eager to learn. The girl is passionate about all aspects of learning to read, especially writing. Additionally, she loves physical activities, crafts and baking. Regarding her family background, Elisha McPhail's parents separated when she was only 3 months old. Her father, Robert McPhail, lives in Rothesay, the main town on the Isle of Bute, along with her parents and girlfriend. Despite her quite unique family circumstances, that Elisha is always cheerful, understands things and listens to adults. Usually, father and grandfather every weekend. During the summer break, she can stay longer to play with her grandparents. On June 28, 2018, when she had just turned 6 years old, the girl went to Rothesay to spend 3 weeks with her grandparents. The story began on the morning of 27th, 2018. In a house on the Isle of Bute in Scotland, United Kingdom. After preparing breakfast, Mrs. McPhail walked to her young granddaughter's room, Elisha McPhail, to wake the girl up for breakfast, but the girl was not in the room. Thinking that the granddaughter might be playing in her favorite garden, Mrs. McPhail had to search around the house, but still couldn't find her granddaughter. She quickly informed the family. A search then followed, that lasted for many hours, but in vain. The McPhail family hoped the girl was just playing somewhere and will quickly return home. But then tragedy officially struck their family. At 9 o'clock, they discovered the body of the 6-year-old girl, less than 1 kilometer away from home, within the grounds of a long-abandoned hotel. What the party said, the victim's body in a battered state, and without any clothing covering her body. The autopsy results showed Elisha had to endure 117 wounds and died from severe wounds on the face and neck. The police immediately began investigating, through extracting images from cameras from the surrounding houses. The police saw a young man broke into Alexa's house, and shortly after, the girl was found outside. It all happened within a period of time, from 2 to 4 a.m. 27. It's not difficult to identify the identity. The intruder is none other than Aaron Campbell, a 16-year-old young man. However, Aaron Campbell continuously denies kidnapping, rape, killing the girl and claiming to have never met the victim. Previously, Aaron's DNA samples, matched with the DNA, were found on Elisha's body and clothes, made the perpetrator bow their head and confess. When the police announced the incident, also felt surprised, because Aaron Campbell is not a stranger. Aaron is the owner of a YouTube channel, with thousands of followers. The defendant used to record and upload videos, from 2 to 4 a.m. on the 27th. Of note is a particularly eerie character, Slender Man. Similar to how Aaron did with Elisha. Shropshire, United Kingdom. STOPSHIP in the country on 732-002. He moved to Isle of Bute when he was only 4 years old, along with his mother Chanel, with Christopher and a younger sister. From childhood to adulthood, Aaron Campbell was always abused, physically and mentally. He often argued with his alcoholic mother, his own alcohol addiction. She also had a documented attention deficit disorder, and had a history of self-harm and depression. Campbell studied at Rothesay Academy, and was quite popular among the students, due to his strong drinking ability, and was often present at parties. In the eyes of friends and those around him, he is healthy and active. likes playing games, and dreams of becoming a YouTube star, and is trying to make it happen by uploading some videos on the website. According to the confession of Aaron Thomas, when he was only 15 years old, he began to think about actually having to do something drastic, like rape or murder. In 2017, when he was only 17 years old, Aaron Campbell posted a message on Facebook saying that desire can drive a person to have an experience, and he has also been arrested for arson. The incident caused a stir in the UK for a long time, but the confessions of the culprit truly haunted him. A few hours before the murder occurred, the defendant attended a party with friends, then fell into a drunken state, and wanted to use marijuana. According to a friend who attended the party, on that evening, Aaron was in a very unusual mood, drinking. Finished his drink and just sat quietly alone in the room, without communicating with anyone. Worried that his friend would harm himself or do something foolish, many friends invited Aaron Campbell to go out and play, but he refused each time. Later, Aaron contacted Alicia MacPhail's dealer, who had previously sold marijuana to him, but this man did not respond to Aaron's messages. As his needs were not met, around 1:54 in the morning, on the day of the incident, the 16-year-old boy went to MacPhail's apartment and discovered the house key was still in the lock. This may sound quite strange to us, but in England, leaving keys in the lock is quite common. Right after breaking into the house, the room Aaron saw first was little Alicia's room. He must have gently pushed little Alicia out of bed, cautiously, so that no one in the house will be awakened and discovered. When the little girl woke up and asked him who he was, Aaron lied that he was a friend of the girl's father, and was asked to look after the baby until she could come back to pick him up. After that, the perpetrator took the girl to a local forest. The desolate scene forced the 6-year-old girl and strangled her to death. After the heinous act, Shirley carried the girl's body to abandon it in the hotel courtyard. He immediately went to a nearby beach, stripping off blood-soaked clothes and throwing them into the sea, before returning to the crime scene to get the mobile phone. Right when his daughter went missing, Mr. Robert had a hunch that a series of missed calls last night, Aaron might be involved in this incident. He quickly called Aaron back. Initially didn't get a response, but then he picked up, apologizing for disturbing late at night, and confirmed there was no problem. When Mr. Robert suggested to Aaron keeping an eye on his daughter in the surrounding areas, he just smiled faintly and replied, "I am sure the little girl won't go too far." Reopening the tragic murder case of the little girl. Alicia MacPhail, Scotland's Chief of Police Hazel Henderan, the local police commander, announced all available resources are being mobilized for this major investigation. The police even mobilized helicopter teams, helicopters patrolling all areas on the island. The search operation only concluded after a man called to report seeing the body of Alicia in the garden of a hotel, only about a 15-minute walk from the girl's house. The next day, the forensic team quickly conducted the post-mortem examination. The results show the poor girl had up to 147 wounds on her body, with many cuts. The severe wounds on her face and neck indicate the girl was punched heavily and choked. Additionally, there was a large wound on the girl's mouth, indicating she was gagged before breathing her last breath. Finally, the police immediately launched an investigation after the post-mortem results were obtained, and mobilized resources nationwide. Police, Jeanette Campbell, Aaron Campbell's mother, initially also supported the search for the girl Alexa. In response to the police's request for information, she checked the family's camera system, installed outside the house, and found footage. Her son left and returned twice. During the time, the girl disappeared. When she pressed Aaron, insisting he knew nothing about the case, Jeanette then presented the footage to the police to dispel any doubts. However, from these very clips, this video, the police decided to interrogate Aaron Campbell. The first to question Aaron Campbell was Detective Constable Gavin McKellar. Constable Gavin McKellar and Sergeant Stephen Henry. As a witness, he cooperated with most of the questions. There were no signs of worry or fear. He disclosed a surprising detail, that he knew the victim's father. It's Robert MacPhail and his girlfriend. Aaron had bought marijuana from this couple multiple times, but it ended in early 2018. After the disagreement, however, after a period of investigation and collecting enough evidence, Aaron Campbell was arrested on suspicion of murdering A47 and was detained at Glasgow police station. The next day he was charged with murder and rape, and raping Alicia MacPhail, and was remanded in custody pending trial. December 2018. Aaron Campbell appeared before a high court in Glasgow to undergo legal proceedings. At this point, he had accepted all the charges against him in the trial on 21/3/2019. The footage extracted from the camera provided by the defendant's mother, has been widely publicized, proving the suspect leaving the house, matching the time, missing victim. Furthermore, in another video recording, Aaron's image was captured, carrying something on the shoulder, heading towards the coastal forest areas. At 0345 on July 2, 2018, Alicia's feet were very clean. At 0345 on July 2, 20, this indicates she could have been abducted, carrying or taking away without touching the ground. Not only that, Aaron's mother also confirmed that some items were found on the beach belonged to her son, like a jacket, shorts, and a t-shirt. And of course, DNA test is a complete match with Aaron. Now, all evidence points to the suspect Aaron. His DNA has been found all over Alicia's body, all over the girl's wounds and clothes. Like all other foolish criminals, Aaron had some foolish actions after being accused of searching on Google. How the police could search for DNA. And then for an inexplicable reason, Aaron went on Snapchat and sent to a group of 25 acquaintances. The message found the perpetrator. As for himself, Aaron argued that all morning he was just wandering to get grass and marijuana that he dropped while looking for his lost phone. Two of Aaron's friends stepped up as witnesses, were in contact and heard him talking about going shopping. Zong did not meet Aaron directly that morning. Furthermore, Aaron also accused the main suspect in the case as Tony Cho's girlfriend, the little girl Alika. He declared that he secretly spent the night with Tony on the night of the incident at the parking garage. Therefore, she could completely take his DNA to frame the body of the little girl Alicia, to frame Aaron. Aaron's lawyer argued that Tony has always been jealous of the husband's biological child, because the little girl receives a lot of attention and care from the family. Of course, Tony denies all baseless accusations from Aaron. Simultaneously released images and videos showing she and her biological child Alicia have a very good relationship, love each other, because the little girl is truly intelligent and understanding. Although the accusations are completely unfounded, but the name and image of Tony still appeared frequently in newspapers and media, with a fairly plausible hypothesis of murdering his stepson. Throughout the trial process, smoothly answered all the judge's questions, and the lawyer affirmed not knowing and never meeting the girl Alicia. Even though living nearby, he even sneered that just because of a few small clues, an innocent person was accused, it would be an unforgivable crime. After a 9-day trial, the appraisal session has reached a consensus on the conclusion: Aaron is the culprit who kidnapped and assaulted, and at Alicia. The judge stated he couldn't understand why a 16-year-old teenager could commit such a horrific murder. For him, this is the most brutal case in many years, and what outraged the public even more was Aaron, showing no remorse but always appearing arrogant. In front of the court at that time, Aaron truly confessed his actions in detail, even stating that he was quite satisfied with the murder, and everything made people feel disgusted. Throughout the trial, he continued to fantasize about being able to commit similar acts once again, and casually described those fantasies. The judge allowed the media to disclose the name and image of Aaron. This is the only case in Scottish history the perpetrator is a juvenile publicly identified. Instead of remaining anonymous, Aaron was sentenced to life imprisonment and must serve a minimum term, 27 years in prison before being considered for parole. YouTube also deleted the murderer's personal channel. Too Inhumane was convicted of horrific crimes on Bite Island. The mother of the poor girl, Alexa, was not satisfied with the 27-year prison sentence for the perpetrator who harmed her daughter. She believes that the sentence deserved for Aaron, at the very least, should be a life sentence. He no longer has human rights because of the things he has done. Too Inhumane. Despite the disapproval of the fathers and mothers, Aaron filed an appeal in September, with the result having his sentence reduced from 27 years to 24 years, meaning the perpetrator will be released in. He is 40 years old. Currently, this criminal is in a youth offender institution, or Pall Mall, and is expected to be transferred to prison when he turns 21. This case has attracted a lot of public attention in the United Kingdom at that time due to the Isle of Bute in Scotland, known as a rather peaceful location, and rarely do such terrible cases occur. The case is also a wake-up call about the consequences of using stimulants, addictive substances in excess, drinking alcohol, or trafficking in prohibited substances, especially for those who are underage.